Hi dear subscribers, most watch me without a subscription, support my channel with a subscription, and I will make you happy with new story. Story 1: Neighbor threatening to sue me if I don't give them $1,000 to compensate for the damage from Hurricane Fiona. We live next door to some retired boomers. The wife, Buddy we'll call her, was very friendly at first. She would always want to talk with me about gardening, and she liked talking to my daughter. However, her dog was insanely aggressive. I couldn't do anything in my yard without the dog barking, growling, and trying to jump the fence at me. I couldn't ever even talk to people because this dog would bark for an hour straight until I gave up trying to enjoy the yard and went inside. We're currently saving up for a new roof. It will cost around $5 to $10 grand, and we are going to have all the gutters replaced too. Hurricane Fiona hit and blew our gutters off. It was terrifying. In the morning, my husband did a walk around and saw the gutters in their backyard. While cleaning up storm debris, the wife Buddy approached me saying my gutter dented her car and will cost her several thousand to fix, and that she'll have to pay a $1,000 deductible. I didn't know how to respond because I didn't see any significant damage. Mind you, she would regularly brag to me about how she bought her home in the 80s, that her $70,000 mortgage was paid off and had a new roof, new driveway, and painted her roof, doors, and window framing a tacky black color. She also lives in a duplex, and it completely clashes with her neighbor. I went inside and discussed what to do with my husband. He said right now nothing. I called my insurance company and let them know what happened to our roof and gutters, and that my neighbor wants to make a claim against us and is insisting she has photo proof we were negligent. A few days later, she comes up to me demanding my insurance, my number, and my last name because of the damage to her car. I take a look at the car and don't see any damage aside from a golf ball-sized dent on the roof. I asked if it was from the gutters falling. She insists it is. I asked how did she know? She said in the morning that she came outside and found them on top of her car. So during the hurricane of the decade, apparently the wind that snapped off my gutters around 2 a.m. landed on her car, then waited patiently for her to wake up. I gave her my insurance info anyway and tell her to figure it out with them. She then begins going off on me and how I intentionally let this happen, that I am trying to hurt her home, that this is my fault, how she'll have to sue my insurance and me, that it will cost thousands to fix and I better pay up, and then throws in how she's been nice to my 4-year-old daughter. She then says I should have ripped my gutters off before the hurricane. I just tell her I'm not interested in conflict with her and to go through insurance. She then tries to tell me how my falling gutter also damaged her heat pump, the one that was currently on, and looked fine. After this, I went outside and took photos of her car, heat pump, and noticed no significant damage to either, yet here she is threatening to sue me for thousands. I would have even agreed to help her with the car repair if she wanted, but instead she jumps to suing me and how she's going to stop being nice to my child. Update: neighbor threatening to sue or demanding thousands because of Hurricane Fiona damage, posted September 29, 2022 in r/neighbors from hell. So I called my insurance and explained to them what happened. They'll get back to me, and if I have to pay damages then we can do so, but I don't think the damage was $5,000 and her heat pump was definitely not damaged by my gutter. I called city bylaw enforcement on her dog. I got fed up with being nice and understanding with a shitty dog who I always worried would jump the fence one day and harm my children. So compliance said they would talk to her and that they will mostly go down the education route, and they said they'll go to her home, assess the situation, and just talk to her about how she has 6 months to get her dog under control or they'll start sending her tickets. She tried to come to my door to argue with me again. I told her she needs to talk to my husband, a military man who is not nearly as patient as I am, or keep talking to insurance, and I filed a claim and told them to assess her damages too, and then I'm closing the door now. She tried knocking again. At this point, I called the non-emergency police line and told them she keeps demanding money from me, that she is insisting the hurricane damage to her home was my fault, and that she won't leave me alone. So compliance from the city showed up to talk to her about her dog. Then the police officer showed up and told her to leave me alone, that if she keeps harassing me he will come back again, and that his own mother couldn't have predicted a tree would crash on her deck. I couldn't have predicted my gutter falling off. She apologized, and the officer said she needs to give me space, and I told him if insurance determines I need to pay up, I will, but only if they say so. So hopefully she'll listen and leave me alone. She's a very Karen-type person who felt embarrassed to have city compliance and a police officer at her door. Maybe don't fucking harass your neighbors and I won't have to retaliate. I'm done being a victim of abuse who just sits by and takes it to keep the peace the other person clearly doesn't want to maintain. My neighbor demanded thousands from me due to a small dent from Hurricane Fiona and then screamed at the damage assessor. Posted October 2nd, 2022 in r/neighbors from hell. See post history for shakedown regarding entitled neighbor who thought it appropriate to belittle me because a hurricane caused my gutter to allegedly hit her car. She says she has pictures, but wouldn't show me them. My neighbor tried to extort thousands in response to some hurricane damage that is worth a couple hundred and started to harass me. I called the police and the city on her aggressive dog. She put a cement barrier to separate our driveways. I don't really care, LMAO. I had contacted someone to assess the dent on her car. They came by and tried to approach her about it. He showed his business card and went to introduce himself, and she responded with screaming at him that they already have someone and to go away. He then came to our door and told us about this and was like, I tried talking to your unhinged neighbor. Pardon my French, but what a bitch. This poor strange man was just trying to do his job and got screamed at for it. I felt bad. They said there was no paint damages, that the dent would be about $350 to pull, not the thousands she's claiming, and there is no evidence whatsoever that her heat pump got damaged by the storm. He also said if our brown aluminum gutter is what caused the damage, then he feels like it would have looked different or left paint behind. So at least with the photos I have, I feel a bit better knowing they can't try and get thousands if for some reason we're considered at fault. Even then it's questionable since hurricane, but I'm still stressed and feel bad because I have a lot of trauma. As someone who is a very timid, quiet person who is also a stay-at-home mom/housewife, how do I stop being afraid of this neighbor? She would wait until my husband or any visitors were gone, then try to start arguing with me like she was trying to intimidate/bully me into paying her money. I don't know how to be that DGAF person about this like my husband seems to be. Right now, I'm just trying to avoid her, and the police told her to leave me alone, but I'm scared she'll try to repeatedly sue me in small claims court or something since she has a lot more money than we do. The hurricane caused our leaking gutter to fall off and allegedly onto the neighbor's car, neighbors threatening to sue for thousands. Posted October 3rd, 2022 in r/insurance. We got hit by Hurricane Fiona pretty hard here in NS, Canada. Our gutter never would flop around in the wind before this, and I never thought it would fall off. However, the hurricane completely ripped it off the roof and it went flying into the next-door neighbor's backyard where we found it in the morning. Before the hurricane, we did notice the gutter would leak water, and we're saving up to get it replaced when we also got a new roof. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. The neighbor told us that the gutter dented their car and it was going to cost thousands. I went inside and talked about it to my husband, and he said that she doesn't have proof, so to not do anything yet. I went outside and took photos of their car and where the damage was. There was no visible damage except a small golf ball-sized dent on the roof of the car. She insists she found the gutter on the roof of her car in the morning. However, my husband insists that they were only in their backyard, and I don't know how the gutter that was ripped off the roof managed to land on her car then sit there patiently until morning. A few days later, the neighbor approached me demanding $5,000 or else she will sue my insurance, that she needs my insurance name, my account number, and my last name. She also said I should have ripped my gutter off prior to the storm. I gave the insurance info to her and told her to figure it out with them, and then she proceeded to harass me that we broke her heat pump too, and I told her to take it up with insurance and to leave me alone. She kept approaching me, and it resulted in the police being called on her and them telling her to leave me alone. I had someone assess the dent that's the size of a golf ball, and he said that the dent was about $350 to fix, that it didn't look like it was from an aluminum gutter unless the corner somehow hit it, and that there was no paint damage or scratches, despite our gutter was brown, and I feel like it would have scratched their car too. Anyway, she said she is going to sue us, so I'm trying to be proactive about what to expect here. I would have helped pay the $350 if she wasn't an immediate bully about it and didn't demand several thousand, but I don't even know if our gutter is what caused it, and I don't think I should be responsible for her heat pump since it likely got rattled around by the hurricane and is definitely not dented. My neighbor is putting a 5 to 6 foot privacy fence up now, and they are making it so it shades my garden from the sun. Posted October 11th, 2022 /neighbors from hell. Although not directly tied to this story, I included it because the current saga is mentioned in the post, and also it just says again how much the neighbor sucks. But like IDGAF. Please, I'll help you split the cost. My only concern is that it looks like they're only putting panels up where my garden is. See post history for bizarre harassment from a hurricane giving their car a golf ball-sized dent and then saying they'll sue me. Top comment. Plant shade-loving flowers, there are tons to choose from. Get solar-powered grow lights and put the panel in a sunny spot. Save the money from the fence for that. Story 2. Should I, 25F, rethink breaking up with my boyfriend, 30M, over my disability? Last night, my boyfriend and I had the worst blow-up fight we have ever experienced over the course of our 3-year relationship, and I need third-party advice on how to proceed. Normally, I would ask my friends and family, but I don't want them to make judgments based on their personal pity/feelings for me. I have a disease that will slowly take over my body. I've had this since, presumably, birth, so it's not like this is my first rodeo. I don't want to mention exactly what disease it is, but know that it causes extreme deterioration of body tissue and parts, mobility issues, cognitive issues, extreme fatigue, and other health risks. Most people with this disease live happy, fulfilled lives that are supported by medication. I, however, got unlucky as the cheapest medication for treatment didn't work to stifle my disease, and thus I spent 7 years essentially letting my body eat itself. I was unable to move on to new treatment due to my place of residence and the insurance I had, as other treatment options range from $200 to $1,800 per one shot or dose. My luck did change, however, when my boyfriend and I moved to a different place in the country. I had to wait another year to see my new specialist, but it was worth it. When I saw her, she immediately approved me for medical support, got me onto the meds that I needed, and told me that this was the worst case she has seen considering my age group. Because I was still mobile at that time, I did not go on disability. I was relieved and optimistic that I was finally getting help, and I did begin to feel better, health-wise. All this time, I had been going to university and working, but when I moved, I dropped uni to take a break. I started to work March 4th time and take care of the house/property that my boyfriend and I bought while he works full-time. Being independent and self-reliant has always been extremely important to me, and despite my bad shape due to my disease, I definitely feel like I have pulled my weight in all aspects of my life. This, however, has changed when late last year my treatment stopped working. It was debilitating. I couldn't go to work, and haven't since December 1st. I could barely walk, I can't cook, clean, do the dishes, or really do anything that I normally would do or even enjoy doing. Every moment of my life feels like I'm wearing a lead jacket, and I'm in extreme pain. Sometimes even bringing a coffee cup to my mouth makes my hands shake so bad from pain/weakness that I spill it all over myself. I am lucky enough that my boyfriend has helped me through this horrible time. He has picked up the slack fully and without any complaint. He essentially waits on me hand and foot, and I hate every second of it. I hate how useless I have become. I hate that I've caused us financial troubles because of my lack of working. I've even deceived my boyfriend about how I've been paying our bills. I told him that I had luckily paid extra on the bills back in October/NOV because I was anticipating Christmas to be a financial strain. This isn't true. I had to reach out to my father to ask him to send me money from my uni fund to cover them. I even lied to my own father, telling him that I was planning on going back to uni soon and I may need the money for enrollment fees. I lied because I'm ashamed of how bad my body has gotten and how much of a burden I am on myself and others. I truly feel like I have no future, and now I'm worried about my boyfriend's future too. My boyfriend wanted to stay open to the idea of having kids until we settled down in our new place some more, and he wanted to get married. He wanted to do a lot of things with me, but now that I'm looking at my position, I think he would be better off doing those things with someone else. I've been in and out of doctor's appointments this past month and a half, but all of them are unsure how to help me. All they can do is prescribe me pain medication, write doctor's notes for work, and send letters to my specialist to hopefully have her see me sooner. My next appointment with her is in February. Yesterday, I got back from an appointment that my boyfriend drove me to. Driving has become too painful for me. The doctor was sympathetic, but ultimately unhelpful as he had limited experience in what he could offer. I burst into tears over it, and my boyfriend was consoling me. I don't know why I said it all of a sudden, but I told my boyfriend that I wanted to break up, and he was shocked. He immediately got angry and asked me why. I told him that I didn't think it was fair that he had to take care of a 25-year-old who was essentially as helpful and fun to be around as an infant. I then told him that he would be better off and much happier with someone else, and that we should just split now before I deteriorate into a living corpse. He kept pushing back, and I finally told him that marriage and kids would be off the table now, and that he should go find someone else who can bring him those things. He said, "How dare you think I value things that don't exist yet over you?" And he left the conversation. Now I'm conflicted. I want to break up with him because, in my heart, I just feel like wasting away under a bridge somewhere and hoping I die an early death, but I also don't want to throw away the love, happiness, and friendship my boyfriend and I have together. We have a very strong relationship, at least we did, but I would absolutely sacrifice my own happiness and his temporary happiness for him to be more fulfilled in his life in the long run. My disease is not his burden to bear. He disagrees. Please help. TLDR, have a disease that has slowly rendered me useless to the point I want to break up with my boyfriend so that he can live happily with someone else. He disagrees. What should I do? NCE for that. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.